and welcome to the LiveConvoy Geek Show. Man, that thing is right over your face.
It really is, isn't it?
I didn't realise it was going to be right over your face. I think this is the one that I maybe slightly, kinda, forgot to alter on the fly.
You did.
Because I'm going to do it now, like a true professional.
Yeah. Editing while we're actually off.
Oh no, that's why I couldn't click it. It's locked. There you go. And then we just shrink it down, move them all the way down here.
Calm down, people. I know. It's a much better view. Just
technology, just fixing it on the fly, fixing. Not unprofessional at all. So, hello. I am Firefly Zero, otherwise known as Jay. I am joined, as always, by the man that sits next to me. I'm dragging this out to find the button. Unprepared at all. I am joined by, of course, LiveConvoy, Rich.
Raw bullshit.
Rich, motherfucking rich.
Raw bullshit.
Damn straight.
I'll have less of that. I will have less of that. I'm trying to find my cocaine button, but I can't find my cocaine.
I didn't know you had a cocaine.
I have got a cocaine button.
Yeah, is that to do with Cocaine Bear by any chance?
No. I can't find my cocaine button. Where is the cocaine button? Why have I lost the cocaine button, people? Unbesmegging-leavable. Just unprepared. Unfathomable. There it is.
Cocaine, the winner of the war on drugs.
That's what I'd wish I'd been on to make this show.
Yeah. Very true as well, unfortunately.
Yes.
It was the winner.
The war on drugs. And forever will be.
Yeah.
Right, so what we're going to get on to today is we're going to talk about a little bit about the anime and gaming con that me and Rich went to in Birmingham last week. Also, we're going to plug our charity thing, which is what we always do, and just in case you want to give some money to the lovely people over at fairybricks.org and give them some a little bit of a donation. Any donation will count, but if you do, you get the chance to win. What is it, Rich?
This absolutely horrendous piece of nightmare fuel.
Exactly.
I'm having a great deal of fun painting up for people. So
That is what you got a chance to win. If you should donate over to fairy.org, you'll find it in the description down on the video.
Any donation, there's no minimum, there's no maximum. Just you want to donate a penny, you want to donate 50p, a pound, whatever. Just shoot one of us like some confirmation.
Yeah, send us some information, a little photo of just say that, yes, I've donated such and such, so that when we do the draw out, we can read out what people have done, what they've donated, and who the winner will be. We'll get in contact with, and we'll send that over at the cost of the show.
Yeah,
the show's cost. Free.
I don't know why the first piece of pics was an absolutely horrendous bit of nightmare fuel, but
I think it was a big model. I think what you were going for is a big model, so it was a cool big model.
Yeah.
So what else we've got to do is obviously yesterday me and Richard did our opinions of the Uninformed Plug with the wonderful proper TJ. That is TJ over on Twitch. So you go follow him, go find his channel, go give him some love. If you like DBD, you definitely find some DBD over there. Because he does love DBD.
So that is now on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you can.
Yep, if you can download it, you can find it there, kids. Oh. Just our next piece has just decided to show its face.
Yeah. So, spoiler alert, this is what we're going to be looking at. This
Yes.
is big in this week's gaming news.
That's it. So big in this week's gaming news, which we'll be moving on to just in a second. We will, of course, be talking about PlayStation's State of Play this week that they are released because, of course, the PSVR 2 came out this week with a load of VR games that slowly I think people are losing interest in. Just my opinion, kids. I like VR as much as the next person, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I played my VR very frequently.
Spoiler alert, you can count on one hand the amount of things in this State of Play I actually gave a shit about.
Yes. We will find that all out right now.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're back in the gaming news now. We're going to play this video for you. This was this week's State of Play from Sony. What they opened with, of course, was the PlayStation PSVR 2, which we're playing just shortly for you. So here we go. A nice over-the-top image of the Wi-Fi adapter that we all paid for.
The giant Wi-Fi adapter.
I mean, this is probably the most interesting. Well, all right, we're flipping through, kids.
Yeah. Well, you have your little, montage you click,
Yeah.
don't you?
So it's
look
like
at all
we're
the
trying to
shit.
sell you things. Look at this thing we're trying to sell you. Don't you love it?
I mean, there's enough stuff there that a lot of it doesn't bad.
I mean, the thing is, VR never looks bad, but I just don't find that I can sit in a VR for a long period of time. So the game we're moving on to now is The Foglands, apparently. Now, this looks like a roguelite, I think.
Yeah, roguelike sort of survivally horror sort of thing.
I like the cards.
Yeah.
I saw the cards and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
this?
But I just... Something that I'm going to say a lot of throughout the course of this presentation is this looks really cool. I would not be sitting and playing it for an extended period of time in VR, you know, because it's like 3D. It's one of them things that, I think it's a really cool gimmick. But yeah, I've never seen anything that really makes me feel like this is the necessary next logical step for gaming.
I see what you're saying. It's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get VR and I enjoy it. But, like, I do find that it's the arsehole of putting the thing on my head, putting these two hands in, trying to find the space where I'm not going to punch my PC.
Yeah. I mean, this game actually looks like pretty cool. I really like the aesthetic design of it. It feels really, seems quite creepy. You know, the setting's quite cool. But it just screams tech demo.
That's it.
You know.
I mean, like I say, it's stylised, definitely, coming out this year. I mean, the PSVR has just come out. I don't know whether it's out on that yet. I think, but then we move on to, Green Hell. Now, I think this is a PlayStation game or a PC game, very much in the vein of that Sons of the Forest that I like.
Yeah.
But this one just did nothing for me when I saw it. I mean...
The survival sort of genre of game isn't something I'm particularly... Like, I can, weirdly enough, I can see the appeal in VR more than I could normally.
Yeah.
But, yeah, again, just nonplussed. I think, I think we've seen what we're going to see from VR experiences at this point.
Yes.
I can't really see what else they're going to do. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be something here that blows my tits off.
Now, see, I thought this looked kind of cool. But again, I think I'm warped a bit by, like, I like this stylized idea of super art.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I don't think this does any of the time, but it has got that sort of force power where you like ripping things up, throwing them away.
That could be cool. That could be.
And like again, but
cool.
I just know that it wouldn't be sustainable because like super art is a game that took me about 6-7 hours to complete because I couldn't just sit there and cane it off.
Yeah, and smash it out,
Yeah.
man. It's just it's almost like it's just like a bit too intense, isn't it? So,
That's it. So I mean, I get like VR as an experience, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, but it's 600 quid.
Yeah, this does look good though. To be fair,
Yeah.
this does look a lot of fun. It does look a lot of fun.
It's just like
Yeah, almost like the fucking Jedi.
Yeah,
You wanted to be in it.
Jedi with a gun.
Yeah. Just like force crushing while like busting a cap and something, man. Like,
Bam.
Yeah, it does look cool, but again, I wouldn't buy a piece of kit for it.
Now, if I go around our friend's house and play it for free,
I'll definitely. Definitely.
I'll enjoy playing it for free.
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to play it. I just ain't paying for it.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I ain't gonna lie about it. Right, moving on to the next one, which is Journey to Foundation. Now, this looks nice if I remember correctly. I mean, I saw it briefly watched.
I don't think I saw this one, to be fair.
Now, Space, obviously, they knew what they were doing, tickling me in.
Yeah, Space, so Jay's already some of the way in.
Exactly. Partly like, can I afford 600?
Yeah, you could get one. We both know it. Don't be lying and saying.
I've already considered a couple of times. I've looked on and gone like, should I just get one?
Oh, this looks kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Well, this is like me interest. I like the idea of like being on some weird space planet, sneaking about, having to be like Solid Snake, which we'll get onto later.
Yeah. Oh, we will. We will.
Based on a book, which I've never heard of the books, but I mean, again, space is my forte. So if there's going to be some space something, I could definitely be down.
Yeah,
to
the
claim.
shooting looks shit though.
It doesn't look great.
It looks.
I have to admit, like
terrible.
I did see the gun, the handgun. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
that's hurt me. That hurt me a lot.
Oh man. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's a bit Hellraiser.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I mean, I could be interested in it. Experience the universe of Isaac. I couldn't even read a second. That's too fast.
Isaac Asimov.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before your eyes. Now, this looked mad. If I remember correctly. This looked pretty mad. Now, he looked familiar, though. I don't know whether he's part of another game. This is part of. This looks like it's going to make you cry in your VR, though.
Yeah, it very much does.
It's going to make me upset.
I can't help but. Oh god, yeah, this is gonna be awful.
It's like, I can't play
oh,
anymore.
no,
I can't see.
Yeah, for real. Like, I can't help but feel this is gonna be an even more savage version of Edith Finch.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that
Yeah,
game's so
yeah,
good.
that-
I may have to do a deep dive on that one.
Yeah, it
That's
was a
a
great
good
game. That
game.
was, man.
Fight against time is to create a work of genius.
Yeah, it's just, you just know that this is
Yeah,
going to
this-
absolutely destroy me.
This looks great.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
I mean,
this looks
sitting there throwing loads
absolutely-
of BAFTA winners at you.
Yeah, this looks absolutely fucking fantastic. But yeah, I don't think I'd be fit to touch another living human being for
No.
about a week after finishing it, man. It's just the vibe I'm getting.
It's
Like the old cat with the one eye, and
Yeah.
that's like the cat's gonna die, and it's gonna.
I'm
hurt
devastated.
Me. Yeah, it's gonna hurt me.
Exactly. I can't deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. No, turn it off.
Next time that you blink, I'm gonna send you back.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah. That looks like at least like
Yeah,
it's an
that's the best
experience
thing
and a half.
I think I've seen so far.
Right now, unfortunately, yes, it's Destiny. Wah, wah,
I just don't-
wah.
I don't-
You will hear more about our feelings on live service games shortly. If you've been listening to our opinions of the Uninformed podcast, you will have heard last week's show talking all about our experiences with
Yeah.
live service and how wanky a practice.
I've got friends that are still really into Destiny.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose if this is your cup of tea, fucking awesome. You've
It's
got
weird 'cause I love
content
space,
coming.
but
Yeah.
I can't stand Destiny.
I think it's horseshit.
I think I just got sick. I mean, I'll be honest, I've tried to put it on and go back to it, but I'm just so confused on what it wants me to do
Yeah.
that I'm like, I don't care enough for
I
it.
just nah. I
Like,
tried
the
it,
shooting's decent.
It
It's,
wasn't for me. I have not touched it since. So if you like it,
yeah,
fucking
oh
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Still being
I'm not
supported,
against you
there's
enjoying
still-
whatever you want to enjoy. It's just for me, I don't know. I've tried both of them. Played
Yeah.
the first one a lot, and then the second one just didn't change anything. I think I wanted to fly spaceships. I
Yeah.
think ultimately it comes down to I want to fly
If I'm
spaceships.
totally honest, if I'm gonna play a game that's centered around a grind, it's gonna have the words Monster Hunter in the title
I can
and
see
not
that.
Destiny.
I can see
So,
I mean, again, I
like, as somebody that doesn't play it, I'm just there's nothing here that makes me want to go and play
I see that.
it. You know.
I mean, I like the idea of that. That interest. I won't lie. The giant orb firing a beam.
Yeah.
I was like, death ray.
Yeah, but, man, I watch anime. I'm used to that sort of shit. That shit's a dime a dozen.
Where's the mech
So,
that just
yeah,
destroys that thing?
Exactly.
Right, this one, Cheer. I think that's how you say it. Might be Cheer. Might be Silent T.
Very Disney Moana vibes.
Yeah. I'm not sure like, what it... I know it's got to be like a big story about her. I think she lives on an island. She goes on a boat. But I don't know whether it's just like a tale.
Yeah.
Or is the gameplay... I mean, like, she's got a map. She's just going on an adventure. I mean, it could be cool. Like the art style, if you're into it, looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
What is it? Is it a narrative? Is it a survival game?
That's why I
don't-
couldn't work out.
I don't know enough about it, but it's got a very interesting sense of style, and it's almost channeling like it's got like a kawaii Aiko,
Yeah.
Team Aiko kind of vibe to it.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
The green eye kid.
Yeah. Oh, is she another dolphin? Oh, can she change into animals?
I don't know. Maybe. They were pretty
Or
funky.
inhabit them, or something like that.
Is it like a Legend of Zelda game?
Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on for more of that, because... Oh, it's fucking soon as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested by that.
I feel like I should have looked at about a little more before we talk about it in the show.
All right, just for the PlayStation people, these are the games that you'll be getting free this month on PlayStation Plus, or PlayStation Plus Essential, or PlayStation Plus
pretty good
Essential
set of
Extra
games
or
there.
Premium. Yeah.
Like, to be fair.
They've sorted out Battlefield as well.
Yeah, I've heard it's like really fucking solid now.
Oh, that's day one release on that
Oh,
Essential or Plus or Premium. Probably Premium, I would
yeah.
guess.
Oh, of course. Gotta pay that extra money.
Our next game is from Enhance, the creators of Tetris Effect and Res.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I left that in because I thought that was important.
Yeah, Res was awesome.
So this game is
Res.
Humanity. Like Dog, which sound. Tunes on this. The music on this is great. Let me tell
Weirdly,
you.
I haven't seen this either.
That looks insane.
Yeah, that looks mental.
Now, so are they all just following the dog? Is it like Snake?
Yeah, it looks like you're herding people, doesn't it?
And then there's a big gold dude. You know what it looks like? Modern day Lemmings.
Yeah, modern day Lemmings with what was that game you used to play? Oh, it was on the PS1 where you had the ball, you rolled.
Oh,
The game with K, I think.
Coke Cologne? No, that was a little dude. I do know what you're on about.
Yeah.
But this looks insane.
Yeah, this looks interesting.
So, like, you're against all the grey people, I guess?
Gotta
Are
try
they
and turn
negative
them
energy?
coloured.
They got lightsabers?
Oh, holy shit.
But now they're running.
No way. What
Suddenly
the hell is going on?
Now it's Jedi's.
That's like something I...
What is happening? Show you puzzles so people make their own.
Okay, I'm very interested. By the makers of Res as well, which
Yeah.
is fucking
I
phenomenal.
bet the
game.
music will be.
Oh yeah, music would be phenomenal. And VR as well.
That'd be fucked up in VR. I mean, I suppose you'd have to have the third person perspective where you'd be looking
God.
like God
Yeah.
over it. And then you'd move the dog. May.
Yeah, I
Mind.
definitely wish I'd
Oh.
watched that beforehand.
Demo?
Oh, hello.
That's a demo. Might be worth checking out, guys.
Yeah,
a demo.
I'm gonna get that.
Right, this is Goodbye Volcano High. I think this is a story, but it looks like it's got some rhythm and
Yeah.
choices in. So it's a high school story, if one was to guess.
Yeah. Interesting.
Class president's speech at the assembly. In light of the whole space rock potential.
So, initial gut feeling is it looks like a rhythm action visual
Yeah.
novel.
That's what it looks like to me.
That's a very weird combination of things.
I suppose it's to give the visual novel something else. You remember, like games like the Nonary games? They had
Yeah,
puzzles, didn't they? Just to interlude, because I mean, there's a lot of talking.
yeah.
Like a lot of talking.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, interactive choices and stuff like that. Oh, well. Could be cool, man.
I've got to say, I am less intrigued by multiple choice games recently.
yeah.
So I don't have the time to follow every tree.
But that then, I don't tend to feel the need to do that anymore. I like to just have a single, very personalised
I see what you're saying.
sort of.
I do that with those horror games. That the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
I do with that.
Yeah.
I find that's like a fun way to alleviate. Like because again, I feel like I can come back to that and almost feel I have a different adventure.
Yeah.
Not totally, but like some people live. Where in a slasher, it doesn't really matter so much.
I like the fact that they're trying to do something new with point-and-click genres.
Yes, I think you've got to. Right, so this is Naruto
This is
Cross
Boruto.
Boruto. Now, I have never watched Naruto.
No.
You are my resident anime.
Funnily enough, I've never watched Naruto either for the simple fact, like, when it first came out was when I'd kind of stopped watching anime at the time, and when
Right.
I came back to it, it's just too fucking much for me to want to sit through, to be fair.
That's fair, I
It's
think.
one of those where, as well, like, it's quite well known for having outrageous amounts of filler.
Yeah.
Same sort of deal as Bleach. Like, I'm not sitting there with a Wikipedia open on my phone figuring out, oh, I can just skip 20 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, man. I ain't about that. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's great.
I mean,
I ain't watching it.
I thought you might be more interested because of the combat. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
fighting, is that something that you'd be...
Unfortunately, I tend to find anime fighting games tend to focus more on the license as opposed to exceptional game mechanics.
Right.
With the exception of Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Right.
Like, this looks super pretty, and it looks, from what I know of the show, looks very authentic.
Yeah.
But would I play it over a serious fighting game? No. But then, maybe if 10 of us who were all Naruto fans, you know, and had Friday nights together or something like that, yeah, I could definitely see a place for it. But other than that...
It's weird, because you think that, like, oh, you know, you'd be more interested in like this kind of thing because you like anime, but like I say, the same. I like anime, but every anime game that I've played in that vein has been a bit
Math, unless you Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball has quite a storied history of very good fucking fighting games, you know. Yeah, like the My Hero one we saw at the thing looked
at the anime
cool,
con.
but again, like, it's not a serious fighting game, is it?
Not really. Right, Baldur's Gate 3. Now, yeah, I've got this on the PC, and honestly, if you like board games and you want to sit and you just actually want a board game to feel like it's a video game, but with dice rolls, it's this. Like, honestly, some of the fun and the just the fear of watching that 20-sided die, even though you know it's just a random die number, but you drop some one, you're like, no, everything is gonna go shit. Attacking myself, killing my teammates.
Production values are a lot nicer than you tend to see from the old Baldur's Gate games.
Larian games make such impressive, like, fucking games. Like, I don't know if you ever played the Divinity games, because they're basically board games as well.
Yeah, no, you've cracked on about them quite a bit.
Yeah, because, I mean, they literally board games. It's like playing a D&D adventure.
Yeah.
And you can, like, fuck up or not fuck up like you would in D&D.
Quite interesting in things, actually.
It's coming on PlayStation 5, so this is playable. It's also co-op, so like you can play with your muckers and just play a campaign.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fun, man, because it'd be probably be the closest thing we're ever going to get to actually playing D&D, because ain't none of us going to learn to be a DM.
That's it.
And that Collie is.
Yeah. Like I say, it's just a really good, like, because again, your mates, if he wants to just be a dick character, he can choose all his dick answers.
Yeah.
Like Divinity, spoilers, but at the end of the first Divinity, you actually had to fight your friend.
Yeah.
That was the storyline. Like, there could be only one, like, so you had to fight your mate.
So this is Wayfinders?
Yeah, Wayfinders. An MMO. Or Wayfinder. I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's got a very...
I mean, it's World of Warcraft,
mate. It's got a very
mate.
nice sense of style. It looks like a fantasy MMO.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
a
Warcraft.
Fantasy MMO 101 in it.
Now, looking at the things, though, is it going to be a bit more, you know, hack and slashy?
A bit more in... Because my thing with MMOs is I always find that I don't feel like... As mainly a console player, I don't really feel like I'm actively doing a lot in terms of MMOs. You know, it's waiting for skill cooldowns and where. Whereas, like, I think MMOs have never done particularly well in consoles because console players kind of demand a bit more.
I need to be doing things.
Yeah. So is that? I mean, looking for the hub system in the corner and stuff.
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah. So hold L1, press this. But
Yeah.
it's probably still going to be based around cooldown. I mean, you can see that one's greyed out.
Yeah.
So although it'll
it
probably simplified.
Like you're kind of doing. You've got more active involvement, I think.
I mean, I like that they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of, like, don't make the dungeon the most boring, generic, and walking through it. You're playing on a video game console. Do something with it. Right.
If you like that kind of thing, yes, that looks pretty alright.
No, I thought this next bit was a bit of a cop-out from Capcom. New characters, kids, honestly, I swear. Oh, no, wait. It's just Zangief. He's not new at all. Pretty sure he's been in at least 2.
Yeah. Who is it? You got Zangief, Cammy,
Lily? I don't know Lily, though.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been... I mean... making a hoo-ha over Zangief and Cammy is just like non-entities.
Yeah.
You just expect them to be in the fucking game at this point.
Like,
anyway.
Cammy's been in since Street Fighter 3.
Yeah.
So,
Cammy
like...
Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Cammy.
Did she?
Yeah.
I know Zangief. Was Zangief been?
Yeah,
since...
he was since Street Fighter 2.
I don't even know what Street Fighter was.
Yeah. I had the original, the
Did you?
very first Street Fighter.
Right.
Yeah, I had it on my Atari.
How
I
many-
mean, to be fair, they look like they've done a lot in terms
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
moveset. Like, it looks like...
Oh, the game looks like
Yeah,
superb.
right,
I mean,
doesn't
if I was any good at Street Fighter, I'd almost be interested in playing it, but
Yeah.
I am terrible.
I'm a bit good. I'm a bit gutted that Tekken 8's been picked over this. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know I'm slapping everyone at this, so I ain't sure about Tekken.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Issues. This is
Really?
Lily.
Yeah. So I think she could be a new character. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Let me know. Let me know. Like, you know, I don't know that much. It's been a while since. I mean, especially being that Street Fighter 5 was such a fucking.
Well, that was received rather fucking harshly at the time, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was.
You know,
You
not
must
launching
pay
an
for
arcade
everything.
mode.
I mean, like, again, like it's definitely a good improvement for the Street Fighter franchise.
Yeah.
I will say that. And she's got.
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks real nice. The animation
She-
real pretty.
She
man.
reminds me of another character that I can't quite put my finger on. Like a moveset.
Yeah.
I think maybe someone from maybe Tekken.
Yeah. She Lin Chao Yu sort of thing.
Yeah. Lin. The back
Yeah,
one,
she looks.
two.
Yeah, she looks pretty sick actually.
Yeah, man.
She looks different.
Looks speedy.
enough to- yeah. Yeah, she looks different enough to be a good addition to the cast.
Cammy looks completely different. I almost didn't know. If it wasn't for the damn flag, I was like, this isn't Cammy.
Yeah.
But that's Cammy.
No way. Oh, the quiffy hair. Really.
Yeah.
Man, they look like they got like raw secret agent.
Yeah,
for
man.
them,
Yeah. Where are you from? With a giant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Really? Come on.
Course? You're joking.
Fuck's sake.
If they didn't, they'd get more flack.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, I
Eliminating.
want to play this to be fair. Yeah, so the idea of just announcing these three characters is a bit of a shitty thing to drop in the state of play.
That's it.
But I ain't gonna lie. Who the fuck is he, by the way, as well?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know anything. Like
yeah,
I
ain't gonna
saw two
lie,
trailers.
I want to see quite a lot more of this.
Well, I'm happy for the next game that's coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's my wheelhouse. It is, of course, should it ever get there, 2nd of June. It's not far away.
Yeah.
Far away from Street Fighter 6. So the next game is, of course, Resident Evil 4 Remake, which looks phenomenal.
It looks great, but
I thought you'd be happy about the mercenaries being tagged
yeah,
on.
having Mercenary, I'm more excited about that than I am. I mean, it looks like there's quite a bit of different shit in this.
Yeah.
as
So
well, doesn't it?
I'm really looking forward to it.
Um,
It's been a while since I played 4. Been a while.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
stop
I've
doing that.
played for so much. Just like I can't help but feel I'd rather
We've
have.
still got the sweep.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like I'd rather have a modern remake of the first one.
I know you're saying, and I don't know whether they'll get there. Maybe. Don't know though.
Because they've done 2, 3, obviously 4
Yeah.
now. I mean, they look amazing.
Yeah.
They look stunning.
Like some of this generally looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Even as an action game.
Yeah.
Krauser as well.
Leon looks
Damn.
shit though. I'm sorry. I think Leon looks terrible. Leon looks like he should be in One Direction. You know? But yeah, the change in how you pick the weapons and stuff look really cool.
Yeah.
And fast. I've heard Ashley will have a lot more to do.
Yeah. I've heard that as well. Bap. Together.
Together. But I just.
Just wait while I break into this song.
Yeah,
Together.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll play it, no doubt. I'll play it, but it's a game I've played on like 3, 4 different systems and different iterations at this point, and it's almost getting a bit Nintendo in it.
I don't know, man. I mean, I love the. I'll be
Yeah, but
honest.
you-
I love the
you
remakes. Absolutely can't wait.
They were the scariest thing ever in a Resident
Mate,
Evil game.
I'm telling you.
Them fucking blind things with the Wolverine claws. Nah, don't like them at all.
That Krauser fight as well, man. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that
pretty
again.
sick.
Leon.
I've played this so much.
Yeah, but this one at least will be fundamentally different. probably play better.
Yeah, but
I'm psyched. I'm psyched, kids.
Spencer Mansion, man. Now this, okay, that I'm more
And that's all
bothered
you
about
get.
that than I am the actual game. Like,
Special demo coming soon.
yeah.
I'll be checking that out. I mean,
Bringing
what's the
demos
point?
back
I mean,
in
it's
Lego
out next
cons.
month.
Well, bringing demos back, baby.
I love it. This is... Oh, yes. The Justice League. Not Justice League. Kill the
Suicide
Justice
Squad.
League. Suicide Squad. Now, I was watching this, and the problem becomes apparent when it's co-op.
Yeah.
Everything's got a gear score now.
Mhm.
Levels are mission locked.
Yeah.
I
School
am
locked.
yeah.
Battle pass.
Battle
Live
Pass.
service, whole shebang.
After we've just witnessed and spoke about Avengers dying,
Yeah. Well, and they've already. What differentiates this from the last one? They've just done, Gotham.
Yeah.
Is it Gotham Knights or whatever?
well, this is
It's
Rocksteady.
like-
The problem is, dude. The difference is this is Rocksteady, a company that I once believed created the best comic book games ever.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're also owned by a mega publisher, and
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday.
yeah, the mega publisher says you're doing this, you're putting all these dirty words like live service into your game, then it's fuck all you can really say about it.
I just think it's my worry is that it's the end of the Arkham universe, though, because this is Metropolis. It's going to be different from Arkham, but now it feels like I'm just going to play a looter shooter.
Well, the thing is, if it's the end of the Arkham universe, so be it, because there'll be more DC games coming in the future because of the upcoming
Gunnyverse.
slate of
Which-
movies and things like that.
Brian
So-
Blessed absolutely hates me calling it the Gunnyverse.
Yeah, so, so do you know what? If you're gonna shit on all your goodwill you made with the Batman series and do this, fuck it, I ain't gonna buy this game. I'm not gonna play this
No.
game. I'll just wait until
I am
the
actually
next
going to
one
vote
releases
with my
stuff.
wallet on this one and just go, no, I'm not interested in shooting purple dots on
Yeah.
a tank.
I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't interested in a Suicide Squad game anyway. Like,
I was interested in seeing where the rest of the Arkham story was going to go.
yeah.
With
No,
Brainiac taking over and Batman being bad. I mean, I also wouldn't support it because of Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, but it's like a fucking. They can't decide what they want to do. They can't decide whether they want to carry on with the Arkhamverse or fuck around with Injustice. So they've just merged the two.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because this to me isn't like a logical. This isn't set in the same universe as the Batman games are.
No. Well,
No.
oh, it is.
Yeah, but it's not at the same time. You can tell me it is all the same, but like, it shares no similarities with it whatsoever.
Like, I mean, again, if you like looter shooters, again, not trying to put just people off for the sake of putting people off. It looks like it's frantic and fun, I guess. But I can't support live service.
It'll be
Can't.
dead within 12 months of it coming out.
That's it.
100%. So,
Because people just don't. I mean, like, Destiny is probably one of the few that's staying on with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Battle Royale, yes. Battle Royale always keeps its thing because it's a churn in, churn out.
yeah.
If you turn this into a Battle Royale, there'd probably be more interest.
Oh, shit.
But it would still die off.
So crap.
It's just. I mean,
It's just a million other things I've seen in a million other games. The other games did it better.
yeah,
And it's just going to aggressively nickel and dime me throughout the entirety of it. Like,
exactly.
Really,
Oh,
all,
you want to
all
look
I've gotta
sexy
say,
as fucking Harley Quinn. Bam! 20
all
quid,
I've got
please.
to say on this is just ball off, man.
Yeah, man.
Just,
That's it. I mean, like, look how long. This is one mission. It's taking forever to kill what can only be described as like 4 enemy variants. I mean, yes, they've put a little bit of cutscene things in. There you go. Massive
stop.
purple blob. It's the weak spot, kids, in case you didn't know.
At least the Arkham games did something like with their license.
Yeah.
Whereas this just looks like a third-person shooter that's been skinned in the DC universe
Yeah.
because money.
Because money! That's right, kids. Money is the king. Money is what makes the world go round.
Yeah, I'm sort of done with this.
Yeah. I think we're going to skip on. It's right at the end. They found Lex. But this time, we're going to talk more about... I can't find the button. What Rich has been watching. Waifu is Rich watching?
Howdy,
So-
howdy, howdy.
It is. Wafu has Rich been watching. So, I've got this.
Well, Gets to be a bit of a different one as well today because it's not just something that I've been watching, it's something you've
Yep,
been
I've
watching
also
as
been
well.
watching it very much for reasons which I will describe later in the
Yes.
show as well.
So, anime Nier Automata, based off the video game, very cult classic sort of video game.
Yep.
I don't think you can ever really say it was like. I don't want to say it wasn't popular, but it wasn't commercially massive.
It came out during Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild
and Persona 5.
and Persona 5.
Yeah, so it did come out at a bad time, but it's
I mean, it got 9s and 10s
very,
almost
very
uniquely
critically
across the
well
board.
received.
Yeah.
I'd argue it kind of didn't get the commercial success that it needed, due in part to a hugely stacked release section, and then there was also it's quite a niche Japanese sort of style game, isn't it? Really,
Depth in story. I'll talk more about the video game a bit later because it comes up in games in gaming history. So this is actually a fan-made thing. It's not coming out on Netflix. Where can they watch it, Rich?
So this you can watch on. It's currently on Crunchyroll. I believe it might be streaming on some other. I don't know. I just sort of pay for Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Comes out new episode every Saturday. We've currently episode 5.
Episode 5, I think,
just
correct.
had. Quite an unusual one because we had the first 3, and then it was put on hiatus for a little bit due to COVID. Was apparently absolutely ransacked the development studio. Which is a real shame because I really feel it sort of broke the momentum of it sort of moving forward. Quite shocked that they were doing an adaptation of this in the first place because it sort of came and was announced out of nowhere.
Yes,
wasn't it?
yeah. I mean, I was super happy because, again, anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely adore the game and I adore the person who made the game, Yoko Taro. So
see, I enjoy the game. I'm not to the level that sort of Jay does, but I was quite interested because it's very well known for but the game is very well known for incredible story, and B for incredible set piece and action and fights. And I think so far the anime's doing a really, really good job of both. Production values, it's done by a studio called A1 Pictures, who have done a lot of good shit throughout the years. You know, they did like Attack on Titan, things like that. So there's very much a pedigree in terms of the people that are making it. The music is all done by the actual original composers.
and the music in the game was fucking top 10.
And it is just as good. It is absolutely like one of my driving forces for watching the show has been the music, because Nier Automata music, it's goated. It's one of the goated sort of game soundtracks. I do kind of feel though that I thought the opening first few episodes were incredibly strong, but I do feel like say the 4th episode focused on the amusement park, and
It's what we've got on the background here.
and I mean this fight was done exceptionally well for the amusement park, but I feel like they sped through the rest of the amusement park. I don't feel that one of the iconic things I think of is that first scene when you walk up to it and you have the music and stuff, and B, the roller coaster rides, and I was a little disappointed that
I was disappointed about
that wasn't in there. And then the same one, 5 as well. The latest episode was a great episode. It dealt with like Pascal Village and all that sort of stuff.
That's it.
I mean, listen to this music. Oh, it's so good. So good. Dealt with that, but it didn't sort of touch on some of the side stories that I felt added a lot of personality. So something I mentioned a little earlier. I don't want to sound like I'm not enjoying it, because that is not the case. But it is beginning to feel like the first couple of episodes felt like that it was going to be a very thorough examination of the story. With you saw a few of the little side stories, the little robot, taking orders to his compatriot and stuff. At the moment, it feels like it's almost turned into a bit of a speed run. It reminds me a bit of a show that was called God of High School. That was an exceptional show, but it was basically known as Sakuga, which is an animation technique used in anime. So Sakuga's used, when fights are happening and everything's moving. That's called Sakuga. Whereas it's where everything's in motion as opposed to, you know, when people are talking and they're just standing there and the mouths are moving. Sakuga's when everything's moving, and God of High School did a lot of that.
Right, okay.
And they called it the Sakuga speed run because it looked amazing, but it was just like, we'll kind of skip over the plot points, get to the fights, get to the fights, get to the fights. But the one thing that really impresses me every week is I love the little puppet show at the end.
Yeah, the puppet show's amazing.
And I also love how the puppet shows are all doing the really strange endings from the game.
Yeah. So the game had 26 endings, all letters of the alphabet.
Yeah,
A, B, C, D, and E are the official canon endings of the game, which you have to finish the game 4 times in order to see every single ending. And the true story, because honestly, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mind fuck, man. Yeah, so that's sort of what I've been thinking of this so far. What about yourself?
Oh, I've been absolutely loving it. I understand that like it's rushing through, but as I said to you off air, that I think it's trying to make sure that in its one season, it gets its story told.
Yeah.
While like hitting as many of the high points as you can, and again in Pascal's village, showing that the little bit of the when the robots started fighting.
Yeah.
I thought that was like superbly done to show like that these robots are starting to get emotion. Again, without spoilers, it all does get explained. It is all explained of why this is going on and what's happened. And, you know, for me, it is one of the best video games, most profound stories in video gaming. It deals with things... It
needs to be human.
Yeah, exactly.
Emotions,
it's, honestly, I don't know whether the anime will do it to it quite its justice. Obviously, in the game, a lot of it was optional to go and find the more information, read up the reports.
That's my sort of my biggest worry is that it might plough through the main story, but miss so much of the nuance which made Nier special.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of the issue that I'm not going to say I'm concerned about or anything because it's still early days. It's only had sort of 5 episodes, but the first sort of 3. I feel the first 3 have been kind of stronger than the last 2.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, again, I'm
for
glad that they've shown the Adam and Eve scenes.
Yeah.
And watching them change as they're developing.
Yeah, and evolving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in. I'm in for the show. I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah.
I want to see just how well it does. But this is something I think, especially due to your love of the actual game, I think this is something we should probably come back to maybe once the season.
Yeah, once the season's finished, we'll talk back about it. I'm definitely down for that. I find it. I found it nothing but just total fan enjoyment, fan wankery, if you will.
Yeah. But yeah, being as how we had so much in terms of the state of play and the next section, which is absolutely enormous. I figured I was only going to do the one show next week, but this week, but I probably will have a bumper one for you next week.
That's it. Right, so with that being all said, we're going to move on to this week in gaming history. This one's a long one, kids. We will try and get through it as quickly as possible. However, sometimes time gets the better of us.
You know how these things go.
We do. Right, kids. So we'll see you in a sec.
This week in gaming history.
Right, so the way that I'm going to do gaming history, I'm going to tell you about the date and what happened and why many years ago. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to run through it. So we've talked about this game
try and
before.
Get through most of them, but then there's ones that we're not going to be able to not talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So these will be relatively quick.
This is going to be one.
So we spoke about this before. This event took place on the February the 19th. 10 years ago, it was, of course, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. I keep hearing words that they may do another one on this, but
we discussed this on one of our other shows, didn't we? Because the voice actor was saying, I want more of this game because this game was bad as fuck.
Yes,
like I absolutely adored this game. It had sort of the Metal Gear nonsense that you expect from Metal Gear. And Platinum Games firing on all fucking cylinders. So I don't think this game kind of got the attention it deserved at the time because it was a departure from Metal Gear as a series. But yeah, I thought it was fucking great nonetheless. I'd love more of it.
So it was on just for anyone who is interested in it. It's on Steam. I think it was on sale for like £4 the other day. So if you do want to go and check that out, do go check over at Steam. I think you can still get it on PlayStation.
You have to have PlayStation now.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
it's a PS3 game.
Yeah.
All right, guys, moving on. So on the February 20th, this was 16 years ago, was Metal Slug Anthology on the PSP in 2007. Now, I have a memory, tell me if I'm wrong, Rich, but I thought you liked Metal Slug.
I love Metal. It's the sort of shit that I like, you know, Dan Maku sort of bullet hell sort of games. Metal Slug was sort of one of the OG ones. I mean, there's been about 200 Metal Slug games. They've not changed pretty much at all because they don't need to. They do. You know what you're getting, and they do it incredibly fucking well. Yeah. Huge series. Something that had quite a big impact on me in terms of like what kind of video games I like and the skills I sort of picked up in terms of video games.
It is very fast paced, like dodge, shoot.
Yeah, this is very much sort of my bag. No, me and Mark, in fact, both really very good at bullet hell games. Yeah.
I remember playing this because I like the idea you can drive vehicles and
getting
it's a lot of fun
and stuff. Awesome senses of character, you know, all very sort of anime styled. Super hard, but never felt like it took itself too seriously.
Yeah, the bosses always looked fun. The bosses always looked quite fun to me.
Yeah, it's up there with the greats of the sort of era, you know, like your treasure games and stuff like that. Yeah, phenomenal shit, man.
Yeah, man.
I actually had this on the PSP, and it was great anthology.
Right, on to another big game. We're going to talk about something that came out February 1st in Japan. It was, of course, The Legend of Zelda. Now, this was one of the first games I ever really remember playing. I played it with my mom. And it came out in 1986, so I'm in Japan, so we'd probably go 1989, I think, when we got the console. 1988.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
1986, according to this, so it came out. But I remember playing this. It was my first introduction to an RPG, although I couldn't have told you it was an RPG at the time. It's actually an RPG.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved it. Thought it was superb. Thought it was a lot of fun. I've tried to cut together a quick video because there is a lot of game here.
Yeah. Well, the fact is, like, this dropped, and 37 years later, we're still talking about it as a series. Is like genuinely extraordinary.
I mean, things still remain today. You can still get fairies, heart containers, rupees. Rupees still remain. I
mean, this is the one. This is probably the only one in the franchise I don't have a very personal connection to because, like, I didn't play as a kid. You know, I played it a bit as I was older. You know, because it's like one of them rite of passage games. But yeah, it's sort of my first experience with Zelda was A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
You know, so this is one that, like, hugely influential and sort of
hugely influential
without Zelda.
Nobody ever, I don't know how many people remember this, but this is a game that when you finished it, it had the fucking balls to tell you got to do it again.
Yeah, like Ghouls and Ghosts. Yeah, so but we think Zelda as a franchise is something we'll be speaking more about next week because of
what was released. So Zelda, absolutely superb game. You can play this currently. You could play it on the Switch. I think it's on the NES package on there. NES, a lot of good old Zelda games on that NES thing. But of course, you do have to pay a subscription. It is £20 a year for the base package. Right, guys. So moving on to the next game, another fucking steamer of a game.
Huge, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid.
Like. We just gotta say, what the fuck is up with this year? Because there's some crazy shit released this year in gaming history, man.
Yeah, well, this week. So, February 22nd in 1999, that was 24 years ago, Metal Gear Solid amazed the whole of Europe with a game that, probably the best game on the PlayStation.
Yeah, like certainly one of the most impactful and influential. I mean, this was...
It was a spy thriller.
Yeah, I would argue that this was the game that made the world sit up and take gaming seriously because this was a game that had production values and writing that matched what Hollywood was pumping out at the time. It was very unheard of. And everything across the board was phenomenal. So the music was Henry Gregson Williams. And it was, you know, the original Metal Gear Solid theme tune is absolutely fucking iconic.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it was last week I was talking about if you were going to have a gaming national anthem, it would be the Halo theme.
Yeah.
I think the runner-up would be the Metal Gear theme.
100%.
The voice acting for this was...
Yeah, David Hayter and I can't remember, Wes Anderson, I think.
Yeah,
was
just
one of them.
completely
There you
very
go, Hayter.
unconventionally good for video games. 'Cause
Yeah.
This was at the video game sort of voice acting was sort of in the realm of 80s anime voice acting in that it was fucking awful. No, not the case in this.
This was
Great
full
storyline,
production. Superb storyline.
The Sniper Wolf thing brought a tear to a lot of people's eyes, man. A lot of people's eyes.
Well, what I have got on this clip, although we probably won't get to it because it's going to be 15 minutes long. This clip is I cut the the first time you meet Revolver Ocelot. The cyborg ninja cuts his hand off. Oh, mate.
Yeah, sick.
Just like, again, like the idea of this boss just talking to you as you're running around with a guy strapped to C4 wires attached to him.
Firing bullets, ricocheting them off walls and stuff. Fucking wild shit.
And he's just there talking to you going, I love to reload in the middle of a battle.
The game that screwed everybody because you spent ages trying to find a codec code
for this
specific game. And the game specifically says it's on the back of the box. And you're going around and you're looking at every box in the motherfucking game. No, it was actually on the game box. You'd have to turn it over.
It was so
and
meta.
there was a picture with this fucking codec frequency that you needed. Wild shit, man.
Absolutely super. Honestly, the boss, the Psycho Mantis fight,
Psycho Mantis
where you actually had to unplug your controller, plug it into the second player controller so you could control without being controlled.
Yeah, and if you had other Konami save games on your memory card, like he'd be like, "Oh, you like Castlevania, you know?" It's absolutely fucking crazy.
Honestly, it was so just pulled you in.
One of the first games that had a lot of Easter eggs, like the guards shitting their pants and stuff like that. There were many different ways you could approach things.
Yeah. Absolutely, like two endings.
Yeah.
Literally, probably shouldn't mention there was a torture scene.
Yeah, there was a torture scene that, like, if you didn't have international track and field skills or you didn't have an auto fire, you were having a bad time with that torture scene, man. Yeah.
Just screaming as your fingers
you
make it stop,
up, man. You got the hoodie and the t-shirt where you're just hammering the button, like, yeah.
And then you go, you're holding on pretty well. You haven't saved in quite a while.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. And Spurn's like a series that, well, I'll admit, I personally think lost its shit the further it went on.
Yeah.
The first 3 games in the series were just legendary gold.
Absolutely super. Very Bond.
Yeah.
Felt very Bond. You enter into a building with basically whatever you've got on your back. You have to find everything on site. It's this massive, nuclear war story that twists and turns. You meet people such as Liquid here, and brother. Do you know how it feels to know that you only exist to create you?
Yeah, sick shit, man. Legendary game.
Game's just absolutely off the charts of how good it is. So, if you haven't played it, honestly, I cannot recommend it.
Yeah, missing out on a piece of game in history there.
Yeah, it's just absolutely superb. Again, completely voice acted. Like, all areas were completely 3D. Just absolutely next level sort of gaming. I almost want to let the whole clip run, but we've got so much to get through that I've just got to keep moving.
Especially because the next couple of things are pretty heavy hitting, man.
Yeah. So right, next up we got a console release. So it was the Xbox. The Xbox came out 22 years ago, on the 22nd of February in 2001. It was launched by Bill Gates himself.
Yeah, that's 22 years ago. That's absolute crackers, isn't it?
Here he is. There's old Billy Boy. So, this was a reveal where they revealed the Xbox to the point where Bill states himself that they didn't even have the graphic chips ready from NVIDIA.
Yeah.
They were so next gen.
No way. The original Xbox obviously cemented Microsoft's place in the console generation.
It did.
Sold relatively well. It ended up with 24 million hardware units sold. Despite all of the troubles, because it launched way too expensive,
Yeah.
and it was something like 6 weeks after launch. They hacked £100 off the price and gave all the people that paid for it originally loads of free games, didn't they?
Yeah.
The first controller was like
monstrous.
giant.
It was monstrous.
Yeah. But then the second one basically cemented current controller layouts, wasn't it?
It did.
You know.
It took away that weird white and black button, which was odd.
Yeah, it just never needed to be there in the first place. You know, very, very much. Like Microsoft came into this not expecting to win or to beat anybody. Microsoft came in with this to establish themselves as a brand, and nobody can argue the fact that they achieved that, because then, you know, they went from being the third best-selling console of that generation, they were clearly in last place, to the Xbox 360 very nearly beat the PlayStation 3.
Also, they were HD ready.
Yeah.
You just said they were HD ready and a
Xbox Live.
Yeah, straight
Xbox Live,
on.
You know.
That was a game changer, by the way. That was when COD sort of went from being the shooter game that you played on PC to suddenly the most incredibly toxic lobbies you have ever entered in your existence.
It laid the foundation for the first Modern Warfare on the Xbox 360, wasn't it? Because honestly, people that dislike what they hear in video games now, you would not have survived an original Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Like, fuck me.
Mate, I would leave crying.
Yeah.
I'm not even of that ethnicity.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, very influential moment in the annals of gaming history.
That's it. Now on to another piece of technology, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah, but not quite as influential, unfortunately.
No, shame, because I thought the PS Vita was fucking phenomenal for its time.
Do you know what? Great piece of kit. I mean, you compare the sales. I mean, the PS Vita, Sony stopped announcing sales for the PS Vita, so the estimates are anywhere between 10 to 15 million.
Yeah.
Obviously, its competitor was a 3DS, which did something in the region of 160 million, so it got murdered.
Yeah.
Like, it got outrageously murdered. And it's not a bad piece of kit. The reason I think it got murdered was because Sony, I believe...
Sony stopped supporting it?
Well, no, Sony marketed it wrong, though, because people don't want... People, particularly then, people didn't want a handheld that played cut-down versions of home console games.
Yeah.
Like, Nintendo have the handheld market locked down because they make games specifically designed for the handheld market.
You see, the games that did sell, like, I mean, they put an Uncharted on here, and unfortunately, they did the gimmick that everyone's got to do. It's like, oh, but now you can swipe.
Yeah.
And that'll make him do something.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like... Yeah, Uncharted on there was really cool, but you're missing the mark because, like, why are people going to want to play a crappier version of Uncharted to the one they've got at home? Like, release some games that are designed, things like... They never had a Pokemon.
Yeah.
They never had a franchise that says, it doesn't matter what else we do with the system, you will buy this because this is the epitome of handheld gaming.
I know what you're saying. Like you say, but I mean, like, I don't think Sony have ever had a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. That's why I think they've dipped out of the handheld thing, because they unfortunately, you can't compete with Nintendo in terms of we're a handheld. And I mean, maybe in like another 5-10 years, yeah, you will be able to have home console grade experiences on handheld. But as it stands, I think it was just like, it was a cut down portable PS3, and it's like, well, why am I going to want to play? For me, anyway, I was well, why am I going to want to play Uncharted 0.7 when I've got Uncharted 1 at home?
I mean, I suppose the natural progression is what the Switch became, which, like, they do both.
Oh, I've got my own issues with that, though.
Yeah.
So,
see, I enjoyed that game, that Gravity Rush.
Some great stuff on there. I had the best version of Persona 4.
Yeah, Golden was a good game.
By a country mile. I just feel that I feel that Sony did a bit of a disservice to the Vita.
I agree that Sony did a disservice.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. That was good.
And then we've gone from what we think is might have been a misstep to, I believe the next one's Sony's strongest offering.
Yep. One of the biggest selling consoles ever is the PlayStation 4.
Juggernaut.
Absolute
juggernaut. I mean,
only recently dethroned, I think, if I'm correct.
Not on the Switch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
I believe. I think the Switch, PS2, and the DS have still sold more. But I mean, there's a lot of fucking consoles that have been released, and when your console sells over 100 million units, yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you ain't doing too bad.
Yeah,
Ooh, that was a
great
mistake.
machine. Although I would argue that the main reason for Sony's success isn't necessarily due to anything Sony did. I would argue that it was due to what Microsoft did.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Xbox that
Oh,
released
yeah.
this console generation, weirdly enough, it tried to release with all things that are now industry standards, so always online and not being able to share your games and things like that. The industry wasn't quite ready for it yet.
No, the industry
So-
did not like that at all.
Yeah, so when you had this year, when the consoles were announced, you had Xbox went first at E3 and unveiled all of this stuff, which went down rather badly with everybody involved. And then Sony took the stage 2 hours later and just... Honestly, their entire E3 performance was legitimately ridiculing Microsoft. They even did a whole video where... Because the Xbox
How we share games.
Yeah, the Xbox thing was all like, oh, games are digital, so you're not going to be able to share them, you're not going to be able to lend them to people. Sony did a minute-long video, which was, this is how you share games on the on the PlayStation 4.
I haven't got a...
And and it'd just be like, there you go. And it was ruthless. They just went absolutely to ham. So I think Sony got this incredible lead right off the gate, just because Microsoft fucked up so badly.
Yeah.
And then I don't think in terms of
old Microsoft were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and in terms of how the systems went, I actually think Microsoft made more positive moves as the Xbox Live went on and did such a good job to turn things round. But you just couldn't escape that fucking lead, man. That lead was just too much.
Fucking no chance.
And as a console, gave birth to one of my top 5 games of all fucking time, the almighty Bloodborne.
Yep, the almighty Bloodborne, yep. Came still console exclusive to this day.
Yeah.
It's only playable on the PlayStation.
Yeah, great systems really cemented the sort of PlayStation Party architecture, didn't they?
They did.
It's huge, fucking huge. It'll be one of the most talked about systems of all time.
Yep, straight up. Talking about one of the most talked about systems, we went on to one of the most talked about games in the horror field.
On one of them, probably the most talked about system of all time.
Yeah. Silent Hill, absolutely. Because this was almost Konami's comeback at Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like, Alone in the Dark had come out, Resident Evil had come out, absolutely shattered
Yeah.
everyone's
that
idea. Yeah.
fucking
I had to keep the whole
music,
tune, man. I had to keep all the tunes.
Oh,
It
man.
was just
I'm
important.
instantly fucking 15 again.
Yeah.
You know. Oh.
That's it. And like it was I mean, this is the opening to the game. Like, so this gives you no context. Like, when you start the game, you are just knocked out in a car.
Yeah.
Like-
This was such a weird alternative to Resident Evil. This was like Resident Evil was almost the action based, whereas this was the serious horror.
Well, it was melee more as
Yeah.
well, because like guns were crap.
Yeah, and you had the whole the static on the radio.
Yeah,
It was a lot scarier. You had the outrageous fog, which was a technical limitation of the system at the time.
But
'cause it couldn't
absolutely
render it,
used
but was so
wonderfully.
atmospheric.
So you were like, man, I am terrified. The radio is fucking crackling.
Yeah.
I can't see what's ahead of me. I am fucking terrified.
Back when Konami were fucking slamming it in terms of game development left, right and centre.
Yeah.
I mean, this was so... Like, Resident Evil kind of shocked people because of how adult that game felt.
Yeah.
This was on another
Mate,
fucking level.
This had me terrified
Yeah.
at points.
Yeah.
There's a scene where, like, someone is begging to be out, that certain someone.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you see next is just horrifying.
And created one of, you think of scary video game franchises, and so you think of is Resident Evil and this.
Yeah.
Because again, Silent Hill kind of lost its shit as it went a bit further on. Particularly the first 3.
Yeah.
Fucking super. I mean, the second one has a very, very real claim for probably being the best horror game.
Being
of all time.
remade now by Team Blooper.
It is indeed, yeah, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
It is going to be. But yeah, it has a very real opportunity to stand up and say, yeah, I'm probably the best horror game ever made.
Yeah.
Like the second one.
Psychological horror
Yeah.
game, I would say. I
Yeah.
mean, this one, like, it's the fact that it terrifies you, and you know that you're only a video game sprite, but you are
Yeah.
genuinely terrified. I've got a whole sequence here which I'm gonna just let on
Mm,
because it's the opening of the game, and if the opening of the game shows you everything you need to know about
Yeah,
this.
this fucking the fact that this came out 24 years ago though depresses me to a level I am not prepared to admit.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking 24 years ago in 1999, this game came out. Absolutely forever ago on the 22nd of February. Just again, this has had multiple sequels, going off in weird directions with the room.
Yeah, I actually quite like the room. You know,
I never played it.
I thought the room was
Never
pretty
played
fucking
that
good,
one.
man.
Everyone told me it was bad, and I was like, oh man, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if any game talks to a testament of like how much people want it back, the outcry to Konami, the developer, to simply either sell the rights, do something with the rights.
Well, it's one of the big three, isn't it? There's three franchises for Konami that everybody bitches about that they're just misusing, and there's Castlevania, Metal Gear, and when I say everybody in terms of Castlevania, I mean me.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I know you are. Good man, fight the power. Yeah, Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Silent Hill, they're all the ones that, look, if you're not going to do anything, these are too good and they are too important to franchises to the industry to just let die. Like, some shit needs to happen, and thankfully Silent Hill 2 is coming back.
To just give you a brief about this game, basically you wake up in a car crash and find that your young daughter has gone. You start trying to follow her through the mist. As you can see, our protagonist, his name is Harry. Is that right? Harry.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a connection to finding a young girl there, but the city itself seems to be turning against him, which is the only real way to explain the game.
It's one of the first games where the game actually like changed as you were playing it, because you'd be running through, you'd hear all these alarms, and then the city would actually just start changing into
it
like
wouldn't
a weird
be
demonic version.
the same place that you've been. And I'm just going to talk about it now as we go through it, just because this actually shows you. I remember being like young and then putting this on, and I bought this and I put it in, and I was like, oh, that's a bit strong.
Yeah.
Blood sign. Okay, yeah, but it's a video game. Yeah, I'm used to it.
It don't matter. Oh my god!
But this is what I want to talk about. Is the camera work? It's almost like the camera is trying to freak me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me feel like I'm being followed.
Yeah.
And I'm not even that guy, but like the way that it angles the camera around.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary, man.
And then it gets darker, and then you start hearing the alarm.
It's just such a lovely alternative to the sort of fixed camera perspective that was so prevalent at that sort of time.
Well, again, it's the benefit of making your corridor actually 3D and not just a pre-rendered background. Which, don't get me wrong, I like pre-rendered background. I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan, but like, this just made it feel like, oh, this camera could be anywhere, and you know, you could be looking in from a mouse hole in the corner, and you're just like, what's going on? I can't see anything. And say this just gets just more and more.
Violent.
I
mean, I know that's like crazy. I mean, it looks awful now, but these were the best graphics.
You got to imagine that, like,
back in the day,
like 14-year-old me is like going, "What is going on?"
This thing, like, nah, man.
Yeah, no.
Get out of the way.
Little baby things, like, no, get off me. Absolutely terrifying. So, if you can find, I think you find this maybe on GOG. You may have to use an emulator. I'm not sure how you play it these days. I don't think it's on the PlayStation Plus thing.
No, I don't.
But maybe they'll add it in time. Who knows? And
the second one, remake of the second one, is coming.
Yeah,
so if
so
you don't check that
definitely
one out, check that one out.
Right, moving on to another game, Heavy Rain. Do you remember this coming out? I remember you going nuts about it.
Yeah, I fucking weird game, man. This is one of them games that was like, I can never remember the name of the developer. It's David Cage, isn't it? The guy that created it.
I want to say Dreams.
Yeah, because he's the guy that did Fahrenheit as well.
Yeah, you'll probably see it pop up in a second.
Yeah, Quantic Dreams.
Quantic Dreams, that's it. Quantic Dreams.
This game was so weird.
It's like Saw parts.
Yeah, but there was like, it's one of those where I don't know if I could describe it as a good game, but I feel like it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Particularly the first time, because this is one of those multiple choice games where, you know, you get all these different
and it can go
options,
completely weird on some of it.
You can, but not as many of the choices
matter as much.
Yeah,
as,
make any difference as you think. Like, the first time through this, the game does an incredible job of making you feel that every decision you have matters, and it kind of falls a little to pieces the more you play it. The more you play it, the more you realise that actually,
oh no, this matters.
there's
this matters,
5
that
events
don't.
in the entire game that matter on how my story's going to go. But yeah, some of the stuff I've done in this, like, I've never had to do in a video game in my life. Like,
No.
yeah, there's a saw bit where you have to pick an item to cut your own
finger off.
fucking finger off, and it can be like a knife or a saw, and depending on what implement it was, you had to use the control. So if it was
you had to make yourself
you'd have
do
to
it.
saw it off. If it was like an axe, you'd have to hammer the controller down to do it. It was pretty crazy, man.
That's it.
Terrible voice acting.
Yes.
Terrible voice acting.
But
and a very cringy sex scene as well.
yes, there is
Very,
one
very
really,
cringy sex
really cringy sex
Yeah.
scene.
I mean, not as nowhere near as like important or as good as some of the other things, but I think this was a very different approach to narrative in games, and I think it did enough stuff to make it interesting.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to a game that we've already briefly spoke about. This is Nier Automata. So this game is, as we spoke earlier, it's an incredible game about the end of the world, set 10,000 years into the future, where you control the Android 2B and the counterpart, a 9S, or 9s, as it likes to be called.
Yeah.
I love that statement. Everything is lives is designed for your protection, trapped in a never-ending spiral.
There we
So,
go.
I mean, absolutely, just like this is the main character. The combat in this is done by Platinum Games. This released 6 years ago in 2017, and for me, absolutely superb. Just a 10 out of 10 game. I will say the open world can feel a little bland at times, but it's the nature of a apocalyptic end of the world, I suppose.
See, I enjoy this. I'm not as big a fan of it as you are.
Yeah.
But I do, particularly the first part of this game. I think is an extraordinary hack and slash sort of experience. It plays. I mean, it feels fucking lovely to play. Platinum Games, obviously, they're going 10 out of 10 for this, aren't they? They're really going full bore.
And it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing, my favourite thing about this is how it just flips between different game genres.
Yeah, it loves to mess with you.
Yeah, within the opening hour, you've gone from a top-down shooter, to a 3D sort of bullet hell shooter, to a 2D side-scrolling game, to like a 3D sort of action hack and slash experience. Like, it's just, and that's all within the first hour, and it just doesn't stop.
No.
Like, the game is constantly surprising you with new ways to play.
Yeah.
Real.
Absolutely tells a phenomenal story, very philosophical. It straight calls people certain philosophical names, such as Pascal.
John Paul is clearly based after Sartre.
That's it. So, I mean, like, again, areas are gorgeous. Some of the fight scenes, some of the bosses are really interesting. There's a whole sort of big anime story. Some fights are larger than life fighting for those things.
Some of them are extraordinary.
But also, at its heart, is just an incredible story about humanity.
Yeah, about what it means. I find it does explore quite similar themes to, say, like Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
The nature of what it means to be a human. What does it mean to have a soul? What is a fucking soul?
Yeah.
A lot of these sort of existential questions. It's one of those where I feel that even if you fucking hated it, I feel that everybody should play this game because it's such an important enough game. You deserve to experience it and have your own opinion of it.
Yeah, 100%. It may not be for everyone, but I mean, my God, with its genre tries, it tries.
Yeah, it has a go. It does have a damn good go.
But yeah, for me, again, you can play this on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I think it's even on the Switch.
Yeah. As we said before, it just unfortunately, like, it launched around some of the biggest and most well-received games of the last decade, so it kind of got a bit lost.
Yeah, we touched earlier about the music. The music in this game is just second to none.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely flawless. The story, characters, voice acting is superb.
Mm-hmm.
No matter whether it's Japanese or English.
Yeah, both sets are amazing.
Like, the character development, the building. I mean, again, emotional moments throughout this game, even though, you know, they're not human, you feel it tells more of a human tale than you've heard.
Well, I'll say, like, it switches genre a lot. I will say I feel like it takes more risks in terms of how its narrative is presented, in terms of, as opposed to, you know, trying something new with game mechanics, because it kind of doesn't.
No.
You know, everything.
But it nails the game mechanics it tries.
It absolutely nails them. Yeah, great experience. Everyone should give it a go.
Yeah, definitely one of. I mean, again, it'll always be in my top 10 of my games anyway, regardless. I would think. I
Got
do.
it tattooed.
I really have got it tattooed on my leg. Right, so moving on, I'm just going to quickly touch on the Nintendo Fan Club News Issue 1. Came out this year in 1987 on the 24th of February. Apparently this, I never saw it myself, as an American thing, I suspect. But I imagine you sent off for something at the back of a book.
I think it was huge, to be honest with you. I don't know. Never had fan clubs were never that big a thing over in the UK.
We never really got into them.
Look at how cool those kids are though in their shades.
Oh, I saw it. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is a UK advert. This is one of the few.
Oh,
ones
really?
I've won. Yeah.
That game is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Punch Out, amazing.
I love the kid opens his glasses.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna
got a
show you now.
Never get away with that these days, would you?
That's it. That's
Right,
it.
you battered a kid.
Right, anyway, so I just thought I'd briefly touch on that, just so it's important. Echo the Dolphin. So, Echo the Dolphin came out on the 24th in 1995 on the Mega Drive CD, if anyone wasted any time, energy, and effort. I think it did come on the Mega Drive as well, I think, in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it did, yeah. It was a note from the OG Mega Drive. Crazy game. Like, this is such a weird one because it was so big at the time, and I never played it when it originally came out, and it was one of those that I went back to because, you know, maybe a generation later, and God, I thought it was shite. God, I thought it was
I've got to be honest,
terrible.
at the time I thought, oh yeah, it's cool to be able to jump, but I found like the controls were awkward.
Yeah.
I found everything trying to do anything on this game was just a pain in my
It was one of
arse.
those, like, I always wanted to play it because I remember it was on an old gaming TV show. There was like a challenge where you had to do like an Echo level. I can't remember whether it was like Games Master or...
I think it was Games
Master. Do you remember
Master.
Bad Influence?
I
think it was Bad Influence, you know.
I thought it was Games Master. I'm definitely seen. I'm sure I've seen one.
And I always wanted to play it, and it was one of those that, you know, it was like when I got a Mr. Frosty as an adult after wanting it as a child, and then I finally get one, and I'm like, this sucks.
This is shit.
This actually sucks.
I've wasted 20 minutes of my life to
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
whatever that is.
Yeah, Echo the Dolphin.
Echo the Dolphin.
But it was huge back in the day.
Man, everyone loved it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, graphically, for its time,
Not bad.
like, not bad. Really?
You see worse these days.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do, definitely. Right, moving on from Echo to Tekken 5.
Gangster.
Yep,
Gang.
so I don't remember playing this one much. I was a bit more of a Tekken 3 player, I think.
Yeah.
I think I did buy this and I played it a little bit, but anyone will tell you Jay's not the biggest, I'm not the biggest beat 'em up fan anyway, because I'm usually shit at them. So the only way that I actually get good at them is I sit down with my friends and we just keep taking licks at each other. Absolutely ever. Now, 2004 this came out. Well, let's see what my notes say. It says 2005, actually, so I think it was just announced in 2004.
Yeah.
Probably got delayed. Graphically, always looked impressive.
Yeah, man. Like I feel like this was... Because I'm very much like you. Like, our Tekken sort of heyday was Jap Tekken 3 and the first Tekken Tag Tournament. Tekken 4, I remember being quite badly received amongst our gaming circle.
I think so, yeah.
But I do
Changed
remember...
all the tech frames and everything.
Yeah, and they changed like Jinkazama and some of the other characters and stuff. But I remember everyone picking 5 back up, and it was, well, I never got back into this to the level we did back in the Tekken heyday. I did have this, and it was a baller one.
I think Mark played this a lot.
Yeah, Mark played this quite a lot, and Tekken's something I am very much looking forward to getting back into. What with the new one coming out this year, and the fact that Collie's buying it all of us.
Yeah, because he really wants to bring back the tech.
Yeah, because he really wants to bring back, like, you know, a monthly fighting game sort of night, which is going to be great, because I can't wait to put the work in and smash everybody.
I might see if I can get some records and post them up on the channel.
Yeah,
and do
that'd be cool, man.
LiveConvoy presents me getting slapped again.
Yeah. Nah, you know, I've already told you my plan. There's one of our friends I'm going to make a point of really annoying in this.
All you got to do.
Yeah, that's
Do
all I
nothing
care
else
about,
but
man.
Go for it.
I don't give a fuck if I lose to every other person in our group. I ain't losing to him.
Right, moving on to February 25th. This was the NES launch. It was actually the NES launch in LA, which was the second test area for the NES. So I picked up this lovely little animatrix of the NES. So this was a little bit of an advert that I found. It did have the SNES on as well, because that's coming up fucking soon.
Yeah, fucking crap.
Now, I never saw Rob.
I've only ever seen 2 in real life, and none of them were at the time the NES. I've seen them now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got friends that are big retro game, and they've
Definitely played a lot of Duck Hunt.
Yeah, definitely played a lot of Duck Hunt. International Karate Plus. I had that for my Atari. That was sick. It changed the world, didn't it?
What I did like about
changed the
watching
world.
this was some of the adverts.
Look at the price.
I know.
99 quid.
I
Good lord.
Like, I just absolutely loved these ads. When I was going through it, I was like, what were they thinking?
They're so 80s, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're so 80s, it's painful.
What was
man.
going through their minds when they thought they'll love this?
But yeah, like this was a huge step for video games, because I think we sort of said before, like Western games particularly were all like computers, so it was your Atari, your Amiga, you know, your Commodore, your Spectrum, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas consoles were quite an Eastern thing.
They were, yeah.
This came out and well, it turns Mario Brothers into the fucking household name.
Massive franchise, absolutely. What is it? Isn't it the? Didn't we figure out yesterday?
In terms of gaming franchises, no game franchise has sold more copies than Mario.
No.
Admittedly, Mario has far more avenues for sale than any other franchise, but it's at like 800 and something million units in the franchise sold, which
ridiculous.
is insane. Yeah.
Here they are again. Thought I'd put these back in.
Yeah, them
I like these two. So sick. They're playing Top Gun.
Playing Afterburn.
It was Afterburn. I thought it
Yeah.
was Top Gun. King
Punch Out.
Punch Out was savage.
Legendary
He was
game, man.
savage, man.
You know what? The second one on the SNES is still... It's criminal how playable that still is today. Like, it's still a really... Because a lot of the old games, you play them now and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
You know, Punch Out you play and you're like, man, this is rock solid.
Right, so moving on. I mean, ultimately, it was a fantastic console.
Yeah.
Like, it was one that, like, you were envying your friends if you had it. Although I played less video games back in the day, so I used to play a lot of football and, you know, tracker and other nonsense we did at our age. But yeah, like, you'd come back, rainy days, get in, see if you could smash another few things. I noticed as well, they also had an infrared controller.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I was
It was
like,
one of the
no
first
way.
to do it, man. Yeah, crazy,
Madness
man.
when you think about that, really.
Yeah. One of the controllers as well, here's a crazy bit of trivia. One of the controllers had a fucking microphone.
No way.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
This game was fucking rough.
Yeah, this game was hard as fucking tit. There was one jump
Yeah,
in the
man.
sewer level that you had to have the most pixel perfect fucking accuracy ever, otherwise you weren't getting nowhere.
It was irritating. Anyway, moving swiftly on from
Legendary business.
happy memories to some sad memories for Rich. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2.
Oh.
Now, they tried hard with this.
Yeah,
They
shame.
tried so hard, but the thing that I didn't understand is Dark Souls existed.
Yeah.
So why not just go, should we just do Dark Souls?
The first Lords of Shadow, I'd actually argue, was a pretty damn good game.
Yeah.
You know, they clearly went all in on it because you had what's his name, Patrick Stewart,
Yeah, Patrick
and
Stewart.
Robert Carlyle.
Robert
did
Carlyle was
voices
the main
for
voice,
it.
yeah.
This one just seemed to screw the pooch a little.
And it went modern,
Yeah,
which wasn't bad, but wasn't good.
it lost what like. Combat's always been a main part in Castlevania, but I'd argue it's quite a tertiary experience to the exploration.
Yeah.
Whereas this had that the other way
Yeah,
around.
it was like,
The
let's do
exploration
everything
was
combat.
tertiary compared to the combat, and the combat was good. It was decent. It's nowhere near the level of the top tier of the industry. So is it going to scratch Devil May Cry,
Well-
Bayonetta, God of War? No,
But
no,
that
it's
was
not. But it
sort of
wasn't-
my
it was
problem with it,
solid.
though. Because, again, don't get me wrong, my memories of Castlevania are old. But Symphony of the Night, one of the best Castlevanias ever,
Yeah.
right? That was basically Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Side-scrolling, correct?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
insane there.
Yeah.
So why turn this game into a whipping, dancing, jumping,
Well,
sword
it's
swiping?
I'll need to check the dates of this because I'm not actually too sure because I know it sort of came around the time of Dark Souls, but I couldn't tell you if Dark
This was
Souls.
2014.
I couldn't tell you when. Like, was Dark Souls a thing?
Dark
at this
Souls, I
point?
think, was 2009. If I remember correctly.
Dark Souls.
So you probably had Dark Souls 2 at this point.
2011.
Oh, okay.
2011. When was this? 14.
14, so 3 years later.
So the first one was probably the year after Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So too late to do really anything to do with it.
But I mean,
don't know what-
they were doing a modern day castle, and I thought if you did that in Dark Souls era, you know, and you had this modern day castle that flips between time, because Castlevania is mainly about the castle.
Yeah.
And who fucking lives in there.
The problem is as well though is this also came out at the time when Konami had.
The problem is, mate, this
They
is
turned
God of
into
War Castlevania.
Yeah, and this was around the time Konami decided that actually we don't want to be a good video game company that make good games anymore. We're going to be a load of weasel bullshit.
Exactly. We didn't make as much money as we wanted to on the games we did, so
Yeah,
pachinko
it's-
machines.
One of the unfortunately, particularly this is one of the big black spots in terms of the Castlevania franchise.
Very
history,
much so.
in my opinion.
Very much so. Which is a shame, because again, it could have been good. You know, I think the story was actually not bad when you followed it all the way through.
Yeah, the
But-
story in the first one was really good as well, man.
I mean, it carried on the Game Boy.
Yeah, DS.
3D?
It was the DS. Yeah, 3D.
As you found out, like his son and what he had to do, and that's
Yeah.
actually not that was a really good game. But again, they didn't put it on this, so you never really got to play it.
Yeah.
And you went from console to 3DS to console, which is
Yeah, it was a bit
bad choice.
stupid. Yeah, shame because I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and it's not that it was a bad game.
No.
It's not, you know, it wasn't a 3 out of 10 or anything like that. Just could have been better. They could have done a lot more with the license.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So that basically concludes this week in gaming. So you'll be glad to know that's all.
That was a meaty one, wasn't it?
It was a meaty one. Glad it's sort of done, to be honest. Right, we're going to move on to what's new this week. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, welcome back.
Get it.
So, what's new this week, of course, was the PlayStation VR. Now, we have chundered a little bit about this at the start. But, essentially, the PSVR 2 looks incredible. It's got some eye contact where it can read your rings, which I've got a little thing underneath my monitor that does that.
Sick.
So you can literally now, instead of like, you know, having to up, down, left, choose something on the screen, you'll see
You
it
can
in a
just
second.
look at it, yeah.
You can look at it and that will select it.
That's cool.
Like, I mean, don't be wrong, this looks like an impressive piece of kit. My only issue with any VR is its price.
Yeah.
Because you've got to buy a £400 console, then a £600 headset to just play it.
Yeah, it's, like I said before, I've never seen or played anything on a VR thing that I wasn't like, yeah, this is really cool, and then 10 minutes later I'm like, yeah, cool. I kind of feel like I've seen what I want to see from this now.
That's
you know, I just don't see it. At least with the way the technology is at the moment, I just don't see it as being a viable sort of.
You couldn't do it
input.
all day. I couldn't do it all day.
Not at all.
Like, this looks like, don't get me wrong, every time I see VR, I think, yep, this is another great evolution into, like, what VR can be, or better, or whatever, but, like, unfortunately for me, until it's something like contacts that I put in my eyes,
Yeah,
I'm just not
or
going to be happy
plug
to
into
do it.
the back of your head, like
Yeah,
Matrix
exactly.
style. Then yeah, I'm just like, yeah, cool, but am I gonna play? I'll play 10 minutes of Horizon and I'll shoot some people. And
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, yeah, this
Look,
is really cool.
It will be really, it's a real
And then-
good experience.
Yeah,
it's just a pricey experience.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll take my headset off and I'll sit down on my sofa and I'll pick up my controller and I'll play a game because I've just done 10 hours of work.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be flying around my fucking living room trying
Well,
to
that's
play a
the
video game.
other thing I find, like, it's the same thing I found with the Wii.
Yeah.
So when the Wii came out and it had all this, you know, you pull the string back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you do this and all that stuff, which is,
Excuse me.
you know, great and everything, but it did just get to a point where it's like,
He just got in the way, didn't he?
I'm tired, man.
Yeah. I just want to sit and chill.
I don't play
You go
video
away.
games to work out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I play video games so I don't have to move. No, fuck
Exactly.
off.
Now suddenly I'm working out to play my video games. I'm just not down with it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
out.
not down.
I'm
I
out.
don't want to. Although Collie was screaming about how good GT
Gran
looks
Turismo
like.
was, yeah.
Which I imagine, like, you know, probably pretty amazing. But again, like, at least him sat there and it feels like you're in something. Well, I like the space games for that reason. Like, as long
Yeah, I
as
bet
I
that'd
sit
be. I bet that'd be
and
pretty
feel
cool.
like I'm flying.
Yeah, I'm just seeing tech demo after tech demo that you're gonna overcharge me for.
I mean, Village being full game in VR is probably pretty good because the first one was.
yeah.
Right, so Tentacular again, like, you know, it's very, you get all these nichey games that are fun, but like you say, am I going to sit and play it for hours and hours? After the
No.
Fall looks all right. I mean, Light Brigade again, stylized. Also, some of the graphics on some of these games are a bit like,
Yeah.
I don't know whether I want it more real, less real.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
So, right, moving on to Atomic Heart. Now, this looks like Bioshock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there is some controversy around this game. I'm going to point this out just at the head of the show. So, obviously, this is made by a Russian developer that it is coming to light, or supposedly from Ukraine, that they've taken it. They want it taken off the Steam store. They don't want it sold because they do think that the money that is being generated is going to go into a war.
The war effort, yeah.
So, I don't know if that's the case. We're just talking as partial, like,
A video game.
yeah, video game.
basically.
Like, so it's weird. I think there's some controversy about how hyper sexualized it comes across sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's a Russian culture thing or not. Because it's basically, you know, this is set in an alternative world where Russia won the war, I guess.
Gotta give it up. Music's banging.
Yeah.
Music's really good.
Well, I mean, there's loads of good music bits in this. Like, I mean, the fighting and combat looks like fucking chaotic as all hell.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It screams. I wish I was both like Bioshock and Half-Life.
Yeah.
You know, which is no bad thing because both of those are experiences.
I mean,
absolutely.
From
worth
what I've
experiencing.
seen people playing it, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it suffers the Bioshock things like,
Yeah, yeah.
but like I gotta say, like what I've seen on the trailers, what I watched of some streamers playing it looked, you know, it looked
Yeah, it
like
looks
it was a lot of
decent,
like,
man.
you
I'd
know,
play it.
it's almost like first person Dark Souls-y points to some of these bosses.
Yeah.
Where like you have got to dodge and you've got to try and reload on the fly, hit them with
right
magics
thing,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, no, this does look pretty baller, man.
So I am glad that we're not at the point where most games are, where it's just like, you know, shoot the purple thing, shoot the purple thing.
yeah.
You know, just try and work it out, use water, freeze water, and it's what I like the Bioshock thing for.
Yeah. No, it looks interesting. Looks like there's a lot of options to play.
Again, this is out on, I think it's all things. I think it's Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It is free on Xbox Live, should you not want to play, and you already pay for your subscription. So you can check it out on there. But yeah, I thought for people that like horror games, this is sort of a weird atom punk
Yeah.
horror game.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play it, to be
And
honest.
looks pretty fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean.
So, right, moving on to the last game, which I'm very excited and happy to play. It is The Sons of the Forest.
So this one is nothing to do with me. So here we go.
So, The Sons of the Forest is obviously a sequel to The Forest, which came out about 10 years ago. So, it's been a long time in the making. It is set on another island, just like the first one is. You can play up to 4-player co-op and build yourself a little settlement. It is a survival game, ultimately. But what I like about it is a survival game with very much a decent sci-fi Lost story. So you go into an island that looks like completely deserted and start finding hatches, and the story is told environmentally. A lot of horror aspects. Cannibals roam free on the island, along with a lot of mutants, which we'll see in a second. But in this one, you can actually start befriending people.
Oh, okay.
So you get a companion with you, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Good dude, Kelvin.
Yeah. Winston.
Yeah, currently, he's been touted as best boy.
Oh, is he?
Currently.
Okay.
Yeah, he's being currently touted as best boy. This game has made massive opening day
Yeah,
sales, even though
yeah.
it's in
access.
open early access. People are, I think it's like 250,000 day one.
Yeah.
For like, this is basically an indie developed game.
Play. Just
But
early access.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous the game is. Like the claustrophobia you get, the feeling of watching these things just stalk you.
Yeah.
They don't attack.
They just follow you, yeah.
Stalk, and then every now and then you'll turn your back and one will go for you.
Yeah, the whole concept of early access just annoys me, to be honest. It was what we were sort of talking about before. Is it's like all you've done is you need to make your money back now, and all you're doing is making us pay to do a job that you traditionally paid other people to do.
I know what you're saying, but I think in this they seem at least a little more encouraging at the fact that they said, "Look, we're sick of making you wait. We want you to play this game. You're all going on about it."
All I hear from that is our shareholders are sick of not having a sellable product.
I see what you're saying.
And I just can't help. I feel because of the sort of state of the industry and that these days, whenever anyone tries to, oh yeah, we're going to release it in early access because it's not fair to charge you full price. It's not fair to charge me anything to play test your fucking game for you.
I will say this, even though it's released in early access,
It's supposed to be pretty stable.
yeah, it's very like 100%. I would say really stable. It's not far off from being finished. Whatever they're trying to implement, they're implementing.
Yeah.
They give you a timer to when their next update is as well.
Okay,
So they are definitely keeping you in the loop.
Yeah.
I will say some of the animations absolutely above and beyond in this.
Yeah.
Like being able to just, again, taking it to the level of breaking sticks, watching him try and build something in front of your eyes. So survival, honestly, I can see this.
Music's very good.
Yeah, music's fucking,
Music's really good.
honestly.
Yeah.
It's the music, like, I could leave on the title screen
Yeah.
and just sit there and vibe to it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely vibe to it. And then, like, you've got all this weird sci-fi-ness that you don't even see on the surface. And that's what drew me in.
Yeah.
That's what kept me going, man, I gotta know, like, what's going on with this. The same way Lost did.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the things you see, again, like, graphically,
Yeah, it's really
beautiful.
nice fun.
Absolutely beautiful. You watch him actually build a fire, set fire to it. Just superb. It's like to say this is basically what's impressed me so much about it. Because it was just an improvement in every way over the other one. The way that the mechanics work of putting symbols outside your base. That's Veronica. And like just watching, like say, these things just stalk you. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
As did you hear noises? And of course, you got this baller soundtrack just going in the background.
So the music's the only thing about this I've really gone, I actually really, really like that.
Shark's just casual.
Yeah.
So again, like you have to find a rebreather so you can go deeper underwater. It's exploration in a really fucked up monster. Yeah. Honestly, some of them terrifying.
Yeah.
Nightmare fuel, mate. Nightmare fuel. There's one where it's a double-ended man. And it's like a massive fucking... Mate, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like I say, absolute nightmare fuel. Like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, that just looks so impressive. I mean, I know you'd take more than that to do. But, like... Yeah, she's got a shotgun and a pistol. Got 3 arms. That's it.
Yeah, double-ended
fucking nightmare
that's
fuel.
Silent Hill shit, that, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I loved about it. And then you've got these moments.
Yeah.
Like, just pure nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I can't get past the... we want money now, so play test the game.
Fair enough. For me, absolutely thought it was phenomenal. Just one of those where I thought it was phenomenal.
As long as you're enjoying it, my market.
Oh yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. Right, so now we're going to move on to Times That We Forgot, where I suggest a retro game.
Game from history.
A game from history. Now, this is one that both me and Rich like. The game's time forgot. It is The Legend of a Dragoon.
This game was bad.
Yes.
This game was sick. So, PS1, I think you could probably argue, was like the golden era of JRPGs.
When they were trying things. This was actually Sony, because it's a Sony-made game.
Yeah.
their attempt to get a Final
Final
Fantasy chat
wasn't
size.
it? Yeah. Looked great at the time. The
Did.
story was amazing. Really interesting combat mechanics.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was the originator for a lot of things you see today. So yeah, it was technically turn-based, but there was times there'd be like squares that sort of rotated, and if you pressed a button at the same time, you'd do extra damage.
Yeah.
And a lot of games sort of have these sort of, it's turn-based, but then
Add
if you
in
press a
something so you
button at the
keep
right
moving.
time during your attack, you do more damage. If you press the button at the right time while being attacked, you defend more. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Fucking ace, man.
And so just to give you a little bit of brief, The Legend of Dragoon is a role-playing video game developed by Japan Studio, which is a Sony studio, and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation in 1999, 2000 in North America, and 2001 in Europe. Set in a high fantasy fiction world called Endiness, the game follows a group of warriors led by protagonist Dart.
Yeah.
Weird name, that one.
Weird name. Weird name.
As they attempt to stop destruction of the world, the player controls a party of 3D character models through pre-rendered linear environments. Combat uses a combination of turn-based mechanics and real-time commands. Notably, the game included quick-time events called Addition during each stack, which is a quick-time event Rich just mentioned, requiring the player to press a button when two squares converged. Development began in 1996 and took 3 years with a production of team of over 100 and cost 16 million, a notable high for the time. The game uses realistic CGI cutscenes, drew attention from the press. On release, Legend of Dragoon received mixed reviews, the critics comparing it unfavourably to the Final Fantasy series, which is inevitable. Legend of Dragoon sold more than 1 million copies worldwide, with most of them sales coming from North America. An album of the game's soundtrack was released in 2000, as well as a novel, a manga inspired by the game.
Man, music's actually pretty vast,
Yeah.
man. Like, pretty fucking vast.
Now, I remember we were both at college when this came out, because me
Yeah.
and you were chatting about it. And we bought it and thought it was absolutely superb. I never remember seeing mixed critic reviews.
No, neither did I. I
it
remember
got
this being
Jim
like
praised.
pretty positively well
I mean,
received
it's-
back in the day.
It is definitely a cult classic now.
Yeah.
And for people wondering, this has just been re-released on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, so you can pick this up for about £7 now.
Nice. Yeah.
But really good game. Again, if you want a more depth conversation, you don't want to. I have got a video here from Oni Black Mage. Oni Black Mage is absolutely superb at breaking down massive RPGs into about an hour to 45-minute video.
Gonna controversy, because I know this is really gonna annoy Jay. I'd rather this being remade than Xenogears.
Yeah, and he's wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah, awesome game. I mean, like, every game, every RPG back in the day got compared to Final Fantasy.
Yes.
You know, because Final Fantasy VII was the game that came out and changed the fucking industry, weren't it? Good lord. The week that comes out, we're not going to be able to talk about any other game, are we?
Final Fantasy VII is life.
Yeah, is love, is life.
Is
But yeah,
love,
this was...
life.
There was, when you think of the PS1, it is always the Final Fantasy, but I mean, for me, like, two series that really, really cemented my love of the genre. There was this, and there was Persona 2.
Yes.
Revelations, Persona 2.
This game, like I say, it followed Dart, and what Dart did was he as often the protagonist does, he had a little crystal thing that he carried around with him forever until at one point it awoken the ability for him to turn into a dragoon, and then thus in turn, I think you killed, it was dragons I think you went after, so obviously dragoon, so you killed all these dragons in order to save the world, as they normally do, and obviously I'm selling it short, but yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you. It was a really, really good game for its time. You can go and play it now on the PS4, which is like, you should go and do it for £7.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to the way it looks these days.
No.
You know, I mean, good lord, PlayStation 1 games did not age gracefully, did they?
They did not, but what I would argue is that ultimately what you got in the PlayStation 1 era was a better story and a more interesting tale. And even though the graphics weren't great, I think with the retro kick-in that's going on at the moment, I think you'd still go in. What I wish they'd done is at least updated, like HDified it.
Yeah, tightened it up a bit.
Because, I mean, don't be wrong, people who love this game, they're
Will
still going to buy it.
anyway,
They're still going to
yeah,
play it.
yeah.
It's not going to matter to them. I think this game came out on 3 discs. With
Yeah,
4
it did,
discs.
yeah. Yeah, it was.
It's a monster of a game.
Yeah.
Absolutely monster of a game.
God, back in the day when games came on multiple discs,
Yeah,
what the
man.
fuck, man?
Multiple discs just rare
That
thing.
was
A
a
rare
thing,
thing. now.
wasn't it?
It was. Doesn't barely happens now. In fact, very much you don't get a disc these days.
No, that's if you're lucky.
That's it, exactly. Right, guys, we're going to move on to our special segment now, which is the top 10 best-selling games of all times between 1989 to 2002. So, it's a quick change. I haven't made an automatic for that because I'm just not that good.
Crap in it.
No, I am crap. I'm not going to lie. That's just the facts that it is. So, this is it. This is the top 10 best-selling games of all time.
1989 to 2002, was it?
Yeah, 2022. Coming in at number 10. Number 10 is, of course, Pokemon.
Red and
Generation 1, Red and Blue.
Blue.
47 million copies sold on the Game Boy. Which, I mean, Rich will tell you about this game.
I'll tell you a lot about this game. Yeah, I don't need to. I genuinely don't need to. Everybody knows what Pokemon is. Like, this dropped, and in combination with the anime series, just took the fucking world over. You know, and I'd argue never let it go.
No.
You know, because it's like, still to this day, Pokemon is one of the biggest mass market media franchises. The thing that's so incredible about this is how they literally nailed it on their first go.
Oh, yeah.
Because the games
Out the park, this
Yeah,
is like
the
storming.
games haven't changed that much. The core idea and mechanic of Pokemon hasn't changed at all since this, because they just fucking nailed it right out the bat.
Rich, did the anime come out first, or did the game
No,
come
game
out
came first.
Game came first, so
came
the anime
first,
was
yeah.
built off the back of the
I
game.
believe the game came first in Japan, then the anime came out maybe around the same time or before the game came out over here.
Ah, right.
Because
so,
obviously,
they wouldn't have doubled it.
Yeah, because they got red and green over in Japan, whereas we got red and blue over here.
Green.
Yeah.
What was different? Was that Bulbasaur?
It was literally the same game. I don't know why they just changed the fucking
That's
colour.
crazy.
So yeah,
It's crazy. Right, moving on to number 9. Super Mario Brothers, technically World, but I put World up. 48 million copies sold of Super Mario, I think, World.
yeah.
I may have miscopied that, but this game, I remember this game.
This is one of the best
Fucking great.
platform games ever made. Like, this has to be in a top 3 SNES game list of all time, otherwise your list is garbage.
Yeah.
And realistically, it deserves to be in a top 20 game list of all time, because this game was massive. Not just in terms of the size of it, in terms of the impact it had, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You could argue it was a persecutor to open world games, because you had a big world map that you could move around. There were hidden, so some of the stages had hidden exits that you have to do crazy things to then get a different part of the world map. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
I'd say there's massive secrets in this game.
Yeah, just Nintendo, just ahead of the game here.
And like you can get people to this day still play and speedrun the shit.
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
this
because it's
game.
fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
like,
still
this
an
is one of those
incredible
games
game.
I could play forever and not get bored
Yeah.
of, because it everything about it's great.
Mario has
Control's great.
always been one of those franchises though where they've. Like, I've got to say, Nintendo stacks so much into their Mario games.
There isn't a Mario game you could point at and go shit.
No.
There might be ones you don't like. You might
Yeah.
not like Sunshine as much as, Odyssey or whatever. But there isn't one you can point at and go, this is a shit game,
No.
because none of them are.
No, not one.
Yeah.
Right, so moving on to what some people might come from a shit company. Number 8.
Overwatch. This surprised me.
Yeah, it surprised me actually.
This really surprised
So
me.
Overwatch came on the Xbox, PlayStation 4, and the PC, and it sold 50 million copies.
I knew Overwatch was big, obviously, because it's got a big esports league, big esports following. I had no idea.
Loads of loot boxes.
Yeah, I had no idea it was this fucking big though.
It's a good game. I don't know if you played it. It's a
I haven't.
very,
no,
very
I
big
haven't.
fun game.
I've seen a lot of it because my sisters have sweat for it.
Yeah. Honestly, you'd love it.
Yeah.
Because you'd find a character and it'd be learn how to
yeah.
exploit. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there was a barge on this, and like me and my friend Stu,
Yeah.
I think either him or me was playing as a rampage and a rampart. Is it rampart? I can't remember. It's a little tank
Yeah.
dude. He's got a minigun as his alternate.
Yeah.
And so you just shield in front of him, and then he just beams everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like you're on a pirate boat because you've got like a big sail, and then you've got a machine gun just absolutely tunneling people.
Sick.
Absolutely. Like the crazy thing was in this fight, and they just kept running at me while I was going, well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold the trigger down
I'm
here.
just going to kill you. That's all that's going to happen here is you're going to die.
And that's that.
And then you got a healer that's like healing you, so you can't be killed.
I know we have friends that are really into it. As I say, my sister's really into it. I just never got it, to be honest.
It's crazy that Overwatch 2 hasn't made the list, I suppose, because you'd think it being free.
Yeah, but it's not been out very long, has it?
Also, there's been a lot about Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, recently.
I mean, again, it may be the. I mean, I wanted to get Overwatch 2, but I just haven't found the drive.
Yeah.
To play it.
I ain't got the time.
Even though it's free.
I ain't got the time to sweat another game.
Yeah. They are good though. I mean, again, it's quite quick.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice palette change, I suppose. We'll have to try out some. We'll try and figure out a way to play this. Right, moving on to number 7. No one should be surprised by this. Nobody. Nobody should be surprised by this
game.
at all.
What
Red Dead Redemption 2, Xbox, PS4, PC. It did also 50 million copies. It probably just beat it by a couple of little numbers here and there.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal game. I mean, it's just a phenomenal game.
To the point where there's not much really I want to say about this because it's just repeating and it's cliche at this point.
Like if you want to be a cowboy, there is no.
There's no better option.
There's not one.
I could see why some people might prefer the first.
Yep.
As opposed to this.
But
I'd say that has to be in terms of a narrative because in terms of the game, second one is considerably better.
Like in every conceivable just some of just not even stuff that's gameplay. Not even stuff that gameplay that's just going on. I mean, if you want to feel like you're playing Westworld.
Yeah. Arthur Morgan's a way better character than John Marston.
So much better.
So good.
So deep. Man.
God, how much do you hate Dutch? What a prick.
Yeah, what a knob. But again, like, you can see how he's likable, how, like, he got these people here, like, the story. Like I said, I don't know how to, say.
Setting, you know.
It's just the world map, doing treasure hunts, going bounty hunting. It's literally, you can just get lost in the Wild West.
Biggest problem with the game is how little it respects your time. So if you've got 2 hours a night to play this, there's no point playing this because you won't even get to the quest you need to get to.
No, because my life. But again, that being said, what a game! Just what a game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if this trailer don't sell it, I don't know what will sell it. Right, moving on to number 6. Of course, it's Mario Kart.
This shocked me as well because I had no idea that this specific Mario Kart was this popular.
60 million copies.
Yeah, that's
across the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you have had it on 3 systems, and
anyone who bought it on the Wii has most definitely bought a Switch and bought it on.
Yeah, and I'd argue that one of the main reasons this is probably here is due to it being on the Switch during the pandemic.
Yeah. So, a load of people could play this. I mean, they give you different battle options. And all your favourite characters are in here.
Yeah, you could play it online against your mates and stuff like that.
Terribly against Wi-Fi, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. Yeah, I was quite surprised about this because, I mean, solid game.
Yeah,
Mario Kart.
Absolutely great, fun game to play.
I don't think it's the best one in the series, but it is what it is, isn't it?
I mean, it's an amalgamation of most of them anyway, isn't it, really? You know, I mean, they pitch like, oh, you know, you can have 2 items now, and just go, well, yeah. Double Dash did that.
Great. The problem with Mario Kart is, I think I said before, I've played all the Mario Kart I ever feel like I've got the design to play.
That's it. And what you really want
is F-Zero.
Exactly.
It is F-Zero.
So, that being said, let's move on to a game that me and Rich never play. Number 5. Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Xbox, PlayStation, 75 million copies sold, and the PC.
Crackers amounts to Union, but then it's been free to play for ages, hasn't it?
It has. But at some point they did charge it.
Yeah.
And I don't get me wrong, this sort of sold me a little bit on it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I can get into that.
Yeah.
But then I remember playing it.
Yeah. I played it a little, and I've no desire to play anymore.
No.
I'm into Apex. If I'm going to play a Battle Royale, I'll play Apex.
I will be honest, I've probably only really got time for 1 battle royale game, and it is Apex.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're into player unknown battlegrounds, PUBG.
This was the one that very much popularised it as a genre. I'm not going to say it was the first one because I don't think it was. I think that was probably Arma or something like that. But it was the one that very.
Or isn't this a mod of something?
Yeah. But I think it was probably a mod of Arma, to be honest. And yeah, this came out, started taking the world by storm, and now every bastard game's a battle royale.
That's it. That's exactly it. Hopefully they'll start to make less battle royales and more good games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're into player unknown battlegrounds, I totally get it. You know, it's on this list for that reason. So yep, have at it, kids. Have at it. Right, moving on to a game that's a little bit bullshit that it's in the list, but
well.
So on to one of the best-selling consoles of existence, which of course was
the Wii.
And with it came Wii Sports.
Yeah, now, we were talking about this last night. Like, some people are like, right, you can't include this because this is a packing game.
Yeah.
But I think the fact is people wouldn't have bought this system in the units that they did if this game wasn't packed in with it. Because people bought a Wii to play Wii Sports with their family.
Yeah.
And those people that bought a Wii, the vast majority of them, never bought another game for it. So, yeah, it might be a bit disingenuous having it, you know, as one of the best selling games of all time. But,
you know 82 million 900 copies is nothing to be sniffed at, though. And that means that many consoles were basically sold. Yeah. So,
well, there was like, it was the best example for what the Wii could do.
Yeah, and it got fucking even your nan involved, which, you know, I mean, how many times can you say that? I mean, you ain't slapping your nan up a Zangief, have you?
Yeah, well, it depends on who your nan is, isn't it?
Probably beat the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, I reckon, man.
But yeah, so, I mean, again, you know, I totally claim it. I mean, at the end of the day, Wii Sports was a game. It was something people sat there and played. Yes, it came with a console. But that just meant they spent more to get that game.
Yeah, and well, and as I say, more like they probably wouldn't have bought the console if they hadn't have had the packaged in. Because Wii Sports, I'd argue, was the single best showcase for what the Wii could do.
Exactly. So moving on to the next one,
and we start getting into silly unit territory here. Oh, you've gone too far.
Number 3, of course, GTA.
No surprise.
So Xbox, PlayStation, 175 million copies, to the point where it almost doubled the game, the console and game before.
Yeah, we looked into the sales for the franchise as a whole. So GTA as a franchise as a whole has sold 370 million units.
Yeah.
This one has sold 170 million units. So this one alone has sold 170 million units. The previous 4 games sold 200. So this one game nearly sold more than the previous 4 Grand Theft Autos combined. Now, it was on more systems than the other ones.
Yeah.
It's had a longer shelf life due to being online, but that is no small amount of fucking change.
I mean, this game was the pinnacle of GTA, though.
Yeah.
It was everything that everyone wanted. The heist story was fantastic. Loads of different heists. I've got to turn the sound down on this because a lot of copyrighted music's in this. But yet, I mean, again, you'd sit there with the music on, just chilling, driving down the motorway, seeing how much you can swerve in between cars. Go and play a mission if you want, which phenomenally acted out, phenomenally voice acted.
Yeah.
Like, even though they weren't really big people that you would know.
Didn't matter.
No, they were absolutely fantastic. Like, honestly, anyone who, you know, wonders why it sold so much, just go and play it.
Yeah.
Like, all your answers will be
right
there.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, everywhere you can pick it up for like 20 quid, 25 quid. Then tack on the fact that they put the online. The online has then kept people in that game for over a decade.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah, they've killed it.
Absolute insanity. But there you go, good.
Still only number 3, though.
Yep, still on number 3. No one should be shocked by number 2. Number 2. It's Minecraft, kiddies. It is, of course, Minecraft. It's on basically everything. Yeah. It's sold 238 million copies.
I mean, that is a little disingenuous because it's not just Minecraft. It's almost Minecraft as the franchise sort of thing. But yeah, like selling 250 million units is not
Sold off
really
the back
anything.
of one guy's idea to mess around with blocks.
Yeah.
That's the most impressive thing about this evolution of this game. Started off as like big open procedurally generated world where you could dig the ground to find minerals, to build a house, to survive another day. Another survival game.
I mean,
basically.
it's not even how much it's sold. It's the impact this had on the industry as a fucking whole. I mean, this is still probably the most fucking streamed game going.
Yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
wild.
Like kids get into it. You know, the kids are brought up on Minecraft.
Yeah. Watching
Like,
like
indoctrinated
kids
into
first
it.
streamers are all Minecraft streamers, aren't they?
100%. Now, well, there's Roblox as well now.
Yeah.
But yes, so what might shock you though is, of course, our number one. Number one. So I did. The extra bit I did there. Put a firework.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Tetris. It's basically on everything. Again, this is the incorporated series, but
Yeah.
Tetris has sold 520 million copies. Absolutely bodying things.
And again, people are like, rah, it's a packing game. Eat a dick.
Yeah.
Because people bought Game Boys for this.
Yeah. This is one of
People
the most
hundreds.
addictive games
Ever made.
ever.
Yeah, ever made. And it, like, you'd be as a kid. I remember being as a kid and being like, you know, when I played this, I wanted a Game Boy. I didn't care what else was on
No.
it. I wanted a Game Boy for this.
Yeah.
You know,
Because you
and-
can't, no one can give you Tetris and go, just see if you can play this one time.
Yeah. Just have a go.
Yeah.
Just have a go.
And I guarantee it was the first time in recorded history when we go, hold on.
Yeah, no, bro.
That were really life.
Bro, I'll fucking you take it, I'll slap the fuck out of you, lad.
Exactly.
Like, fuck off, man. This is mine now.
Taking it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Because and Tetris has been on everything, ever. But I don't give a shit. When you think Tetris, you think Game Boy.
Yep.
Like,
It's wholly where you go.
End of story.
I mean,
yeah.
Tetris has gone through different iterations. There's Tetris 99 on
Yes,
the
he got the
Steam.
line.
Yeah.
Thank God, guy. I was having fucking
Well,
heart palpitations.
that's why I
before
thought I'd
you
leave
there,
this on,
lads.
because
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's anxiety
Yeah.
inducing. This
Yeah.
game, you just sit there going like, what's he doing, man? Why's
I
he
put it
there?
wrong. I put it wrong. Fuck. Now he's got to do some house cleaning. He's got that gap. He's got to get it. He's got. Yeah,
Exactly.
fucking wild, man.
The music, of course, one of the most iconic noises in video games.
Yeah.
You hear that sound, you hear this Russian sounding
Yeah.
sound,
Do.
and you know Tetris.
You know some shit is about to go
Yeah.
down. And
Like,
this
who's
still
got
gets
Tetris?
played,
Is it good?
yeah.
I want to go.
This still
I
gets
played it.
played at like world tournament levels
Yeah.
and stuff like that as well, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because there's puzzle elements. It's so simple.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's one of the most
so simple.
influential parts of the media ever.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I say, and so I just so moving on to our last bit, because that was our number one. Just a little bit of a bonus that I'm definitely going to have to remove, so I'm not going to talk during it much. Of course, they're making a Tetris movie.
Yeah.
This is the story of how Tetris got released in the world, made by the people from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
So that, I think,
Taron Egerton from
yeah. I don't know how much about these weird graphics in the background. I hope they're not in the film,
yeah.
because I'd rather just have a normal film. I don't need to see the weird symbols.
Yeah.
They say so. Tetris is 4 and tennis. Tetra.
Oh, okay.
Like you say, it just seems, and I want to see, like, because apparently this was released during like the Cold War, well, the end of the Cold War era, and then like just being shown the Game Boy.
Yeah.
So I put this on simply because we were talking Tetris. I thought, well, I got to tell
There's
everyone,
a Tetris movie coming, so
Yeah.
fucking.
and I will definitely be watching.
Yeah, and me, because it actually looks quite interesting,
Yeah.
because it's like the history of it. Because yeah, it was developed by like a Russian gentleman.
That's it. And like, it's just then the KGB start turning his wife against him,
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
think like, so I mean, it's just addictive.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I thought we'd add it on at the end just so we could, everyone can go like, you know, Tetris, you know, it's coming out. It's going to be on Apple TV. So if you've got Apple TV, or you've got dodgy ways,
Yeah.
then
yeah.
you know.
Buy a stick.
then definitely I would urge you to go watch it. Tell me what you thought.
Yeah.
Me and
I'll
Rich
be
will talk
watching
about
it.
it at some point.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. Just like to the point where it's like, oh, what?
Yeah, what the fuck
What
is
are they
going
doing?
on?
What are they doing? So it's a spy sort of thriller wrapped around
Tetris. Yeah.
which
I'm down.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I want all of this. Music sounds like it's gonna be baller as well.
Yeah.
It's the final countdown. Stole the music from fucking Saw.
Yeah.
See, I can do without the pixel graphics.
I don't know, man. Something different in it. I'll watch that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna
I'll
watch
be
it.
watching that.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, guys. So
Boom.
that is all we've had time for. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for always being with us and spending your
Come and
energy.
listen to us chatting a load of shit.
Exactly. We will be back probably next week, unless something comes up. But do check us out over on Spotify if you want to listen to us there. We're over at YouTube. Obviously, we do the Opinions of the Uninformed podcast as well. That's over at YouTube and at Spotify and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. But I have been Firefly Zero. You can find me on Twitch. And I've been joined by, as always, Rich.
LiveConvoy on Instagram. What?
What? And we'll see you soon, kids. Bye.
In a bit.